a bit. I may have to confess that I'm a bit of a CRM geek, so I could never get enough of this stuff. But I'm now going to turn to Yogesh from Everglades to tell us a bit more about Everglades' journey in implementing enterprise resource planning systems. So another bit of jargon of the day, ERP. So a business has put in place an active program of social media. They've established a CRM system, and the conversation internally then turns to enterprise resource planning, ERP. At their most basic, this could be a local business in Ealing using Xero for their accounts, or a tool like Asana for project management, as we do at West London Business. But clearly, Yogesh at Everglade, you're a larger business at the sort of larger end of the SME spectrum, and you've matured beyond these sort of basic ERP tools. Can you give us a bit of a flavour to start with of the history of the business and the technology that you're utilising on a daily basis?
Sure. So Everglade is a family-run business. We started about 40 years ago. So we're very much West London born and bred. And we started in Hendon in our first factory. So you can see in the black and white picture there, that was the first factory about 40 years ago. And organically, we've grown over the years. You can see in some of the pictures, there's some very old monitors, like the massive screens. But in those days, it was quite revolutionary to have, computers and networks and stuff like that. But as a business, we've always had the philosophy of investing in technology and machinery. So today, we're based in Perryville, and we've continued to invest in our sort of software and technology over the years.
You've clearly never run away from technology. I think it looked like some of those sort of early IBM desktops in the photo that we brought up there, which is certainly a trip down memory lane. Now, I think shortly you're going to tell us a bit more about sort of the Microsoft Dynamics enterprise resource planning system that you've invested in recent years. But can you give us a flavour of what came before ERP and Microsoft Dynamics for Everglade?
We used to have our own in-house developed system, so it was quite basic in what it could do. And as the business started to grow, like, the weaknesses of having that system became very apparent. And it was also very difficult because it was designed by in-house technicians for us to, make changes to it, customize it. And technology in IT and software changes very quickly. So we found it was really difficult for us to keep up to date with things. And that's why we decided to look for an off-the-shelf application, which we could do a slight level of customization to as well.
And I mean, it's a pretty complex business that you're running. I think we're going to bring up a photo of you on the factory floor to sort of bring alive what the environment looks like. Do you want to talk us through the plant machines that we can see?
Sure. We've got 2 factories in Perryville, and we've invested a lot in machinery. So within our industry, we've got one of the most state-of-the-art production facilities, and also the machinery that we have is amongst some of the most advanced in the country. But this means that our factory is very advanced, and we felt like we'd probably underinvested in our office technology and in the software. So we wanted to make things a lot more leaner and efficient in the pre-fabrication stage of our manufacturing process.
And presumably, when you got to that sort of realization that you needed to invest more in your back office sort of IT systems, there are different options out there. I suppose alongside Microsoft Dynamics, we hear about the SAP tool being mentioned in a lot of conversations with local businesses. I think we're going to bring up on screen some images shortly of your cloud ordering system, which I imagine is linked to all of this. But can you help us? Just understand the sort of thought processes that you went through as you weighed up one ERP system against another.
Sure. We did look at several different options, and then we got demos of each of them. And then as a board team, we sat down and reviewed, each of the options on the table. But we decided that the Microsoft package would be the best for us, just because of the strength of the brand. We knew it would work. There were existing players within our industry who we knew were using, the same software. So we knew that it could be customized to work towards our business as well. And we also found that it offered us an end-to-end solution. So right through from the point of a customer getting a price from us, a quote, through to being turned into an order, to going through onto the factory floor, to stock deductions, and then finally to invoicing and then reconciling from the financial side. So we found that right through from the initial stages of an order right through to the end. And then in addition to that, we also found that it had features which could link into reporting modules. And I think that was also a really big part of our decision making, because prior to this investment, we found it was very difficult for us to get real-time management information, things like information on stock, trends in sales, colors, different things that customers were doing. So that was really essential for us to have that information at our fingertips.
So we've just brought up on the screen a sort of visual of your cloud ordering system, but I think we're now going to bring up a summary of some of the benefits of that aspect of your IT investment. Do you want to just talk us through the highlights?
Sure. So the cloud ordering system is part of our internal system, and this links to our Microsoft solution as well. But it allows us to offer our customers the ability to go to a web page, and then they can get prices for Windows with all different styles and options, different colors, different product choices. And once they're happy with that, they can then send the order through to us, and then we can download that order on our end and directly send it to our machines. And the system has all been set up so that the machines can pick up the settings for where specific machining operations should be done. So it's very advanced. It links through to the manufacturing side of the business, but it's also very user-friendly and gives our regular trade customers the ability to quote and order from us 24/7. And it's really cut down the bureaucracy of going back and forth, emailing, phoning. So we find that it's a lot easier in terms of the customer user experience, and also from the business's point of view, very, very efficient. And it's fantastic in that it links through to the manufacturing and to the production machinery as well.
And I'm sure not a small investment putting any of these tools in place, but do you find you recover that investment relatively quickly?
So the upfront cost was one side of things, but we found that the time and effort required was, incredible. It was a, big investment in terms of our time and resources. So what you're seeing is the culmination of several years of hard work. So it probably took us about 5 years of investment and time to get to the endpoint at which we are at today. And a lot of it has been a journey as that technology has been changing. So the cloud-based system we have today originally started off as an actual software which customers would log into remotely. But as technology's changed, then we've been able to adapt and change, with the times.
And obviously, recent months have seen COVID-19 strike. Has this platform allowed you and your team to sort of work remotely when required?
It has. It was an absolute godsend during the lockdown. We closed the business for a month or so, and during the period that we were closed, our customers were still able to get pricing from us, still order from us. And with our internal staff, they were able to continue to pick up emails, respond to customer queries, and then also give pricing and process orders. And because we were able to do this, we found that when we eventually did reopen, we were able to hit the ground running, and there was lots of work already in the pipeline ready for production. So when we called in the staff, there was enough work to keep the team going. And we were able to engage with our customers throughout the lockdown period.
Now, all of this data going in obviously gives you a huge kind of sort of data lake that you can then sort of mine for mine for information. And I understand that you're doing that using another Microsoft product called Power BI. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Sure. So this is something we came across a couple of years back, and we found it was perfect for us because we're already using a lot of the Microsoft product suite, and this connects in directly to our database that we use with the Navision software, and it allows us to develop reports based on customer trends like ordering, different colors. So we can identify all sorts of clever things, and this allows us to then target customers who are not buying a particular product range of ours, so existing customers, and also to look at things like stock. So we offer a lot of color options, but there's always changes in the trends. So through this reporting system, we're able to identify where a particular color is becoming very popular in a particular product range. And because of this, we can manage our stock, and that means we can offer better customer service and faster turnaround times. And all of this information is available 24/7 on mobile devices, tablets. So it's very easy for the sales team and management to have all of this information.
And bringing us full circle, to the start of our conversation. All of this, from what I understand, comes together in, is it Navision? Your Microsoft Dynamics implementation.
Yeah,
I think
right.
we've got some screenshots of that for you to talk to.
Sure. So it all links into the Navision software, and again, at the moment this is a standalone software, but we're working to upgrade this to be in the cloud as well. So once we've done that, we'll have all of our key softwares in the cloud and be able to fully function remotely. But the screenshot you're seeing here is of Navision, and how we begin an order, and then we can put it through the system and run it through from the factory out to invoicing as well. So the software gives us like stock management, the CRM side, customer information, customer databases. Currently, we can access it remotely, but as I said, we're working on putting this into the cloud as well. And because we're going to be putting it into the cloud, we're going to be getting regular updates of the software as new features are introduced. And this is fantastic because as technology changes and the software is improved, we can automatically get these updates and benefit from all of the changes.
Yogesh, thank you so much for talking us through all of that. I'm going to turn once again to my colleague Pim to see whether we've got any questions that have come in by email. Pim.
Yogesh, what kind of in-house training has using these IT systems required for your staff, and how challenging has this been?
For the training that we've provided, we've tended to use the software suppliers. So in the case of Navision, we called in a Microsoft Gold partner that then gave training to our staff on site. And from the initial stages of the project, the staff were involved in terms of giving their ideas and input as to how we could function with the software. So I think the transition to when we went live was quite easy because all of the key staff members were involved from the outset. But we did find there was quite a lot of change involved in terms of how the software works, and we had to adapt and change our processes quite significantly in response to this. So I would say it took us about a year to fully settle in and come to terms with how the software works and iron out any minor issues. So there was a significant amount of staff time and effort involved with the implementation.
Our time is unfortunately up. An hour and a bit always flies by too quickly, but we've covered an enormous amount of ground today, from the context in which we're all working, a hugely challenging context, through to social media, CRM systems, and of course, finally, our conversation around enterprise resource planning and the many considerations that go into getting an ERP system in place. Indeed, in Everglade's case, a 5-year journey. Thank you to the production team, Joel at Revolution Audio, as well as Pim, Barney and Adam at West London Business. Thank you to all my guests, Zav Anderson, Digital Skills Director at Clockwork City, Yogesh Gopal, Managing Director of Everglade Windows, Anup Jadhav, Sales Force Technical Architect at Predictive Insight, John Martin of John Martin Estates, as well as Carol Sam, Business Growth and Inward Investment Manager at Ealing Council. If you need information and guidance on how to navigate these difficult times, please visit ealing.gov.uk/coronavirus business. If you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click on the button below the video stream to stay informed and show your support for our work. Thank you for watching today, and as always, we wish you, your friends, family and colleagues good health. Please maintain social distancing wherever possible to stay safe.